Hey everyone, so just quickly returning to this webcam style. Does my cat want to come up? No. Um, I've been dealing with a lot of personal issues in the last week or so. Having a personal illness, and then my cat is in a very bad state right now. My cat has, long story short, um, I found a like tumor like thing in her mouth, and then it all happened so fast, really, where one day, I can't remember what day now, over a week ago, where she wasn't able to like close her jaw and her tongue was like sticking out, and then she was drooling, and then every day she was eating less and drinking less. So I've already been to the vet twice now, and I had a bad run-in with another vet, which I may talk about. I don't know. But yeah, so it's been really bad. We still need to, she's had a lot of tests done and examinations. She had to have several shots done. Uh, like I had to give her a rabies shot because it's the law here that you see a vet and they're not, you have to have proof of rabies apparently. So she needed the rabies shot. She had a steroid shot, an antibiotic shot, a shot for hydration, and she had blood work too. She wants to come up. See, she's sick, but you wouldn't really know it too much right now because um, she has the steroid and the antibiotic, and they work for about 2 weeks. So we're kind of run out of time, and we need to do tests and stuff. I did run a donation fundraiser thing on Facebook, so as of right now, I have the funds for that. Thankfully, I've never asked for money, so this was obviously an exception. Um, Vets are just so much money. Um, so yeah, I'm comforted by that at least. It's been a terrible week. So yeah, I didn't have anything to post. I will say I just wanted to come on and say what do I think is going on. My last video I think I talked about a tarot reading that I did that just seemed so um go to sleep if you want. The tarot seemed so specific, and it was basically saying, the judgment was coming. I got the judgment card. Um, I got the devil card, which it aligned with the question. I forgot how I worded it specifically, but I interpreted the devil card as the lockups, or the justice. I mean, it wasn't justice, but it was more specific to um, what I think the card depicts, which is paying your dues, and those who have done deals with the devil were now going to be enchained by the devil. And that's how I interpreted it. Um, it's also a card of what you see is all there is. Um, and that's the mudra that the devil does. This is apparently what that means. It means uh, what you see is all there is, and this mudra means what you see is not all there is, which is why you'll see the magician use this one. Trying to think what other cards. The Hierophant, I think, uses it, so that's usually a more positive sign. Um, so, um, yeah, you wouldn't know. Her mouth is open a little bit right now, but I don't. Her tongue is not really sticking out. So she's making progress, but of course, like I said, it's temporary. So anyway, I just wanted to follow up my feelings about the tarot. And so like I was just like so baffled because I'm like, is this wrong? Is this, and I just think that I'm of the notion that we all know there's shit going on behind the scenes all the time. Even simpletons, can admit to that. They'll say like, the most simpleton of simpleton would say something like, well, to protect us, we can't know about, like secret operations and stuff. The CIA needs to do their job, or they need to do what they need to do. We don't want to know every attack that could happen to us and everything, la la la. But like, so like, there's always secrets that are happening, but they're layered so much now that the fakery is just so obvious, and I think it's obvious. And what I personally think is, um, here's the thing: is like I'm gonna play along with the Trump stuff only because, and I realize like I'm watching the channel Night Flight, I think she goes by. She was on with someone, and what made me question, of course, was Trump, his family emblem. I don't know what you call. I forgot what you call that. Is it just the family emblem? And it is has very maybe Masonic. I know that she was describing it as the hand that is in the emblem with the spear is actually the hidden hand, and that this is actually taking out the spear from with using the hidden hand. And she was like, and the spear is not for the elite, it is for us the people. We're the ones getting speared. And so I don't know how to take that, because personally I get that Trump's an actor, but his last few speeches actually did seem heartfelt and totally different than usual. Um, so I'm going to play along with it for now and say that personally, what I think is happening is there is this operation going on. I'm not saying it's QAnon, because QAnon doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, why would you put out your secret operations in public? So I remember a few years ago when it first started, I got hooked on it for just like a couple months, and I was off of it immediately after 2 months. Because I did see like QAnon people, a lot of them that I interacted with, unfortunately, were very cult like. But I do think that there's some truth in it. There is truth in everything, I feel like. It's just we always get a distorted version of the truth. So I think that there is a good faction. It's a good cop, bad cop, maybe, but I'm just going to go with it and say there is a good faction of the cabal, Illuminati, that has defected decades ago. I personally think that JFK, JFK from 1963 or whenever I don't think he was killed. I think that was it's hard because I guess I do. I just want to believe that he is part of the Illuminati family, but he's defected, and he and I think it was his brother who was not really assassinated, and then his son JFK Jr. And I really do think that there's some kind of secret operation going with that family, whether it is malevolent but not benevolent, whatever. Um, that's something I guess I don't really know. So the problem when you get into the JFK Jr. theory is, I mean, I know he didn't die. There's just no, it just, knowing what I know now, he's not dead. His father probably didn't die. And the problem with the QAnon people, they think that this is some kind of revenge thing for JFK Jr., but his father didn't die. That was staged. So, and you could stage back then easily because you just had blurry fucking film. You didn't have 4K stuff and cameras everywhere to account for it. So, yeah, so you really wonder what happened back then. Um, but the complicated thing with JFK Jr., though, if you're still like subscribing to this idea that he's a good guy, well, then the Clintons would have to be good too. And no one ever addresses this, but it's the Clinton administration that sent out, I think it was like the Navy, to go search for JFK Jr. when the plane went down. And I guess there was a controversy back then about, using military for, just because JFK Jr. was, you know, the son of a major politician and stuff, and was getting special treatment, especially for, calling out the Navy immediately, whereas average people wouldn't. And so that was the Clinton administration. So wouldn't they have known immediately, like, this isn't his body, he's not here, if there was such a thing, that they whether JFK Jr. was in the plane and ejected or they had a dummy in place. I don't know. But it's I know shit went down or didn't go down. And it's just like, so why wouldn't the Clinton administration just say, like, we didn't find the body? And then that would always kind of make people wonder if he was alive, and then there would always be a search for him. And I don't know, like, it just, something doesn't make sense. Like, why would they be hush hush about it? um I have to rewatch Hillary Clinton's um her concession speech from 2016, and where she's like wearing purple. And I rewatched most of it like the other day. It was a week ago or something, and I forgot when I watched it. I was trying to pick up codes, and she was saying a lot of generic shit, but there's probably codes I missed. But one word she used was, she was referring to her family and her people that were helping her or something with her campaign, and she used the word crisscross. She goes, crisscrossed America. And I find that like an interesting word to choose. And I wonder if someone close to her, or she was coding that she has crisscrossed to the other side. And so I started thinking like this because around the time of the inauguration on the 20th, which was definitely what I think is, so I didn't really get to the full thing, but the short of it is that I think that Trump is somehow being used by this good part of the cabal that has been working for decades to revert, or maybe it's just to put just to make the new age into their vision instead of the darker vision. And but they're still in control either way, so I think that Trump is kind of with them, and through all of that, they did sign the Insurrection Act. And I think that, because my tarot is mostly right all the time, and when I get strong cards like that, I think shit went down. And I don't know if it's a situation of plea deals and the people that we see, like Biden and Kamala, and they're just to stay alive, and they're not be part of the Insurrection Act and what comes with that. So and prosecuted and whatever else comes from that. So I think that they're just being controlled, but now they're controlled by good entities now. And at the end of the day, I mean, this all might sound like lofty and delusional, but at the same time, what the fuck am I gonna do? What are you gonna really do to make any change, right? Might as well just be positive about it, and of course discerning all the time. But for me, I just feel there's something good that's going to come out of this. And the reason why, I didn't go into why I started thinking like this more. Someone I follow made me realize, like, no, the good guys actually already won in 2016, and we're just seeing the truth dribbled. I can't get the word right. Leaked out. The truth has been leaking out for the past 4 or 5 years. For just over 4 years, maybe, since the good guys won. And I anchor that is anchored in me, that belief that, like I said, there's this good thing happening. Is that Hillary was not meant to lose. I'm sorry. It doesn't make any sense. If I'm going to go with something scientific and Occam's razor, to me, it makes no sense to throw a wrench into the Illuminati plan that, if they had really taken things over, if they really were ready to seal the deal, they could make that happen. Hillary just would have won. I think that people like Comey, I hated him back then because I was like, you can arrest her with public knowledge. I could arrest her with public knowledge, and you're going to just wipe the slate clean. And I think that Comey probably was a good guy and when the FBI had done their investigation back then, she had two investigations. You know, she had her email and the Clinton Foundation. And I think the good guys won through that. And I know everything's corrupt and there's more to it, but I gotta believe it just does. It makes more sense that they intervened at that point. They probably saw the horrible shit that went down because it really did change after her email investigation. Um, so much like the WikiLeaks, started coming out more. And really, where did those WikiLeaks really come from? You had Epstein and everything that happened with that. There was been so much that was like the tipping point, not only for what has happened, but with me and what I believe. So I think that instead of, they can't come out and say all the horrible shit that I know that sounds like an excuse. They can't say all the horrible shit that has been going on that they have uncovered. And I'm sure, of course, it's not uncovered overnight. It's just, I think that, and so I think that Hillary's been controlled. Think about the 9/11 memorial, 2016, when Hillary had her fainting spell and she was carted off in a van to her sister's, well, her daughter's New York apartment, and then came out and people were like, it's a body double. Like, crazy shit has happened. I think that maybe they intervened then. I don't know. But something went down that day to get her out of like the public eye, and I don't know. And to me it would have been sweet justice on that day to confront her. So maybe everything she's been saying for years since then has been an act, just to get out of the tribunals and plea deals to take everyone else out. And that's just how it works. I think that's just how those type of things work, is you get the kingpin and then you get the rest, you know, through the information you can get in plea deals and everything and immunities and things like that. So that's just how what I believe. And I know I am of the notion too that it makes more sense as well that it's all staged, but and there's not really, but I just think that because I do have this theory too that like it is all staged, and all this stuff that we see out there is just playing the storylines that have to be played out. And if they're not played out, you know, the gods, the celestial bodies, which have you, the powers that be up above, that they require basically a sacrifice, which are these stories to happen. And if they don't, then we get horrible tragedies put onto us anyway by them. So they have to play these storylines. That's like another theory I have, is that that's why astrology is important, because these energies have to be played out when the time is due. And if they don't, then they will happen anyway. So this way they can control it. And we, the viewer, believe it's happening. So that somehow negates it. I don't know how to explain it. But that's just a working theory I have on that. But so yeah, that's kind of what I think, is that what we're seeing right now with Biden and stuff is just not real. And there's still things that might happen, you know, but I mean, and that's the thing. What's funny is like all the Trump people think that this isn't real, but it's like it's never been real. You're just seeing it more. You're just seeing that it's obvious now that these are puppets, and it totally makes it just that makes more sense to me. So say what you will, but I think I wanted I'm trying to understand the 3D realm. I understand on a higher realm it's all bullshit anyway, but to me it's like I have to, and this is discussion for another day, but I have to concede I'm still in a 3D body that requires a 3D understanding, and so that is my 3D understanding. I'm not going to just go it's all bullshit, and because it doesn't really help my 3D brain, because my 3D brain's still going to try to make any sense of it. So that's what makes more sense to me. So the arrests in theory have happened. The people that need to go are going, and the people, that have provided the information that they have are being spared just for that. And I think I've been listening to, I think her, what's her name go by? Crystal Time or something. And but it's spelled like time, I think, is in like the herb or something. I don't know. Um, I'm really enjoying what she's putting out. Only because I mean it makes sense on the astrological level what they're doing. Um, but yeah, that's all I've got. I always have long videos, and that's just gonna have to be how it be, I guess. So wish my cat well, and hope all goes well. All right, bye. Thanks.